I'm feeling a little bit scandalous. Feeling like I'm living on the edge here. I'm feeling like I'm going to have a lot of fun checking out the brand new Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal pour Homme. I'm excited for this one for a couple of reasons. One of which being the note breakdown. It's got a great looking note breakdown. The second reason is because you may notice here, it's not a Le Male flanker. You're probably wondering what Le Male is. Well, Le Male is a fragrance that was released over 20 years ago, and you've probably heard of it a little bit, and there's also been a couple other flankers of Le Male as well, like Ultra Male and about 10 or 15 different summer editions, and Le Male Le Parfum, just some kind of lesser known designer fragrances. Jean Paul Gaultier has really milked the Le Male line here. And it would be an understatement if I told you I was shocked when I saw a brand new fragrance outside of the Le Male line being released here from the house. This is Scandal. We're going to go ahead and check this one out. I'm going to pop it open, give you my first impressions live on camera, and we'll see what this one is all about. So before I dive into it further, the box is not your standard cardboard. It actually has a felt textured feel to it. Automatically gives it a bit of a luxurious type of feel rather than your traditional slick cardboard box. Not that it matters a whole lot because this box is going to go directly in the recycling after I'm done opening this up, but for some people who care about presentation, that's a plus. Here is the bottle. It is a 100 ml bottle. So first up, you notice the cap. It's got a very, very magnificent cap. Kind of reminds me of the similar grandeur of Dolce & Gabbana K with the, crown style cap. This has a similar thing going on, but to a much more extra extent, I guess you could say. Now, the said cap does click into place, and it has a really nice feel to it. I love the bottle. I have to admit, the bottle looks great. It feels great, and all around, this is a nice presentation here from box to bottle. Let's go ahead and check out the Atomizer. You'll also notice that JPG is engraved into the top of the Atomizer here as well, which is also a nice detail. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a spray on skin, and that Atomizer is also equally fantastic. You can see the amount that it pushes out there. Nice distribution, nice amount of coverage. So this one opens up to me with like a bit of a menthol lavender type of smell, like this clean freshness with a bit of this minty menthol spiciness. There's a bit of a sweetness in here as well, kind of buried beneath that. It's aromatic, it's spicy, it's sweet, it's a bit minty right off the top here. And the opening smells fantastic. As it's settling on my skin, some more sweetness is starting to come through. And now would be a good time to go ahead and read off the official note breakdown. Up top we have clary sage and orange. In the mid we have caramel, tonka bean. In the base we have vetiver. So like always, these are just the notes that we are given by the brand, but a lot of times there may be some more sprinkled in that they just aren't listing. And for me, I do pick up on a nice clean lavender. A little bit of the clary sage as well. And maybe a bit of the orange up top, but for me personally, not very much. It's spicy, it's aromatic, and it's sweet right off the rip. What I will say that I get a lot of is the caramel note, and that's going to be probably the main note that they are marketing here, because who doesn't like the sound of that? You could market a bergamot, you could market an ambroxan, you could market an orange. All of that's great, but people have seen that a million times. Someone walking into a department store or doing some research on this and they see caramel, immediately it's going to stand out, and that's exactly what's going to happen here with Scandal. That's really going to get people's attention here, that nice caramel note. And it's not necessarily a fake note because I do pick up on a lot of sweetness, kind of a tonka bean and a creamy caramel mixture. And I have to say, it smells fantastic, especially if you consider wearing this one in the cooler months, fall and winter time. This one came out in a little bit of an odd time because we are in the middle of summer here, but I would say as soon as we get into fall, this one would be a very nice pickup and a great one to wear. I could see this being very addicting, and I could see this doing really well out there in the marketplace. As it's sitting right now, I'm not picking up on a whole lot of that vetiver. For me, it's just the caramel and the tonka bean and that spiciness. Let's go ahead and check out Fragrantica comparisons here. One of my favorite things. First one, we have Stronger With You by Armani. I don't really get a comparison there. Up next, we have Jazz Club. Similar thing. Not really getting a jazz club vibe. And then we have a Candy Woman Secret. I have no idea what that smells like. I've never heard of that before, but I would wager to say that it probably doesn't smell like that either. These comparisons here are kind of off the wall and very vague and don't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm not saying that this one is 100% a one-off scent that is completely unique and different, because it does have that typical traditional sweet fragrance type of smell. But at the same time, it also kind of has its own twist. You know, it's taking advantage of the trend, which is sweeter men's fragrances, a bit of a kind of a bubblegummy sweetness, a bit of a tonka bean sweetness, but it also has its own take on it. You know, it can fit into the category of a lot of those other popular sweet fragrances, just with its own twist. Because I can tell you right off the bat, smelling this one, it does remind me of things that I've smelled before. Not necessarily anything that I can put my finger on, like I can't think of any other one fragrance that this reminds me of, but it more so reminds me of just kind of a lump sum of another type of genre of fragrance out there for men. You know, it's not completely reinventing the wheel here. It's taking advantage of a popular trend, just with its own take. But with that being said, the positive news is that I don't really see this being a clone of any other thing, which is always nice. There's plenty of clones out there, and I do see this one kind of setting itself apart a little bit here with that caramelized sweetness. I gotta say, this is pretty pleasant sitting on my skin right now, and I really do like how it is developing here. With something like this, I'm gonna have to test it more. I'm going to have to wear it more. You know, first impressions are great, but at the same time, you know, I really want to have some more time to wear this one, and I feel like I would like to wear this one in the cooler weather a bit more, or wear it in the cooler weather in general, in order to have, you know, a finalized conclusion. And we're a ways out from cooler weather here, so it might be a little while before I update you guys on this one. But what I could say so far right off the bat, it does smell very pleasant. I can tell this is going to be a good compliment getter. I can tell that this would really appeal to a lot of people in the right hands, and I think it's a pretty solid release. It's got really nice presentation, great bottle, great box, great atomizer, and really pleasant scent as well. Once this one makes it into the United States and then also hits discounters, I can see this one doing pretty well. And also, one thing that is worth noting, and this is something I always like to speculate, but this is an eau de toilette. That only means that there is room for an eau de parfum and an extrait as well. Perhaps we can get an eau de parfum with a nice boozy touch, and maybe an extrait or an absolute or something along those lines with boozy touch and maybe a bit of oud or something else. Just something to play around with there. That's just my speculation. That would always be nice to see, but when I see something like this released as an EDT, that basically almost guarantees, especially within this market, that there's going to be some flankers to follow. And I mean, hey, JPG is basically the king of flankers here, so this is probably not going to be the last time that you see Scandal as a release. I mean, it's got the clear bottle and everything. I could see a darker gradient and a completely blacked out bottle in the near future, or within the next couple of years. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. That's my thoughts on the new Scandal Pour Homme by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Let me know if you have tried this one down below. What do you think of it? And if you haven't, are you excited to? That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.